since fighting it.
He's trying to find it.
It worked though. Dude, he had best a 30% chance of getting that bit alert. And it fucking came up in the first. Hell yeah, dude.
That's awesome. It was meant to be.
That was perfect. Thank you for that example. To illustrate my point, that was perfect. It could not have been more perfect. I don't know if you tried to do 1 bit or 10 bits, but it worked, and I'm happy with it. Couldn't remember how to cheer. I always press the button, dude. I don't ever type that shit. I would probably fuck it up. Even when I've been on Twitch since 2018. And I'm like, if I want to cheer bits to a friend of mine or something, I fucking click on the button, dude. I don't type /cheer or any of that crap. I'd probably mess it up. I'm gonna share this ERT. It is a atmospheric ERT, unfortunately. But
Gotcha. I'm gonna go ahead and repair, rearm, and I'll be out there.
Okay. Yeah, I just hit the OM. I got my Corsair. Oh, fuck. No, never mind. You got time. I just realized I gotta go down to Orison. Put on a fucking suit and a tractor beam. Totally forgot.
Oh, that's not really cool, CIG. I just realized they just put the bounty target right on top of Shubin Mining Facility, SCD-1.
Yeah, I saw that in the
zone, and
I
I'm
saw
flying
that in the
out
mission.
there.
Wait.
Yeah, they just spawned on top of me. Wait a minute.
Dude, that reminds me of me and fucking Lectim one time. God, we were doing like microtech bounties. And we got one that was inside the New Babbage Armistice Zone. And like eventually we just hit the point where we started ramming them.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Hold on. Get out of this place.
I mean, like the bounty targets were in between New Babbage and the spaceport. Like not exactly in between, but like kind of off to the side, but like, you know.
Yeah, but that's far enough into the Armistice Zone where that's causing
That's hella
problems for
far.
you. Like,
That's miles inside the Armistice Zone. Like we pulled up on them, we were like, "You have any ideas?" Dude, it got to the point where like I rammed him a bunch of times, and then I spent like 5 minutes trying to get back airborne in a Connie with 1 engine. Like, oh, if I bounce off this tree right, I might be able to fucking boost and get some, air time.
just trying to get some air. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, because I mean, like I was just rolling around on the ground, like struggling, because I was fucking, microtech gravity in a Connie with fucking 1 engine. This shit was so funny, but like when we did that, we're like, I'm never doing this shit again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like one of my favorite things to hear as an adult is like when people have opinions about what books are for kids and what aren't, because like I fucking read Jurassic Park at like 10. You know, like I read hardcore Michael Crichton at like fucking 10 years old. And like I thought it was the craziest thing because like in The Lost World, there's one part where they talk about animal reproduction. And that was before my sex talk. You know, I learned a little bit about the sex talk because of fucking alligators in The Lost World. And I was like, oh, that's how that shit works? Tell me that shit was too old for me, bro. Come on. Kids learn shit fast as fuck. And like, the biggest part that my parents probably would have been a problem with Michael Crichton was the amount of the fuck words that were in those books. They didn't give a shit, dude. They would punish me if I used the fuck word in the wrong context. But they let me read that shit. Yeah, so I think it's wild when people are like, this book isn't for kids. And it's like, I remember being that kid, and I liked that book. Andromeda
Andromeda was
Strain.
also a good one.
Hang on, Andromeda Strain. That sounds real fucking familiar. Maybe I did?
Satellite falls, comes with a virus, infects a small town because they decide to go ahead and try to pick it up on their trailer and bring it back. Only survivor is a infant that's crying, and some other weird shit going on in the town with some people they find.
Did I not read that? I remember the premise, but holy fuck. That's like the most Michael Crichton book that would have been up my alley. Did I not read that? Well, okay, if I did read that, I definitely have to read it again. I remember the premise, and I remember being like, holy fucking shit, that's awesome. But I can't remember enough details to convince myself I actually read that. Damn, did I seriously miss Andromeda Strain? If I did, I'm gonna like report back to everyone and be like, yo, I've been talking about Michael Crichton this whole time. And I miss Andromeda fucking Strain. Michael Crichton wrote everything way before I was born, bro. I was born in 1990. Michael Crichton was practically done writing by 1990. Dude, Jurassic Park, the movie, came out when I was 5. It scared the shit out of me. And, like, I heard about it. And we were doing this, like, whatever thing where my parents were hanging out with some of their friends and I was hanging out with their kids. And they were like, we have Jurassic Park. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, let's go jump on the trampoline. And I was like, what? But then later I was like, Mom, they have Jurassic Park. And she's like, oh, you wouldn't like it. It's going to be too scary. And I was like, my whole brain exploded, my 6-year-old brain. I was like, but it's fucking dinosaurs. Like, how could I possibly not like dinosaurs? And then, so like, my parents talked to their friends, and they were eventually like, we ended up borrowing the movie from them on VHS. And so I watched it back at home, like, I don't know, some time later. Probably the next 2 days. It felt like a year later, but it was like probably the next day. And I watched it. It scared the fucking piss out of me, but I never admitted it to Mom and Dad. Not once ever. They probably knew, but I never admitted that. No, I was strong. I was strong. I never admitted it because it was way too cool for me to admit that it scared the piss out of me like Mom said it would.
I remember the first time I watched it, it had been out for a bit already, and ended up going ahead and seeing it in a drive-in movie theater. I thought that was the coolest thing.
Drive-ins were sick, dude. I was in high school and there was still a drive-in near where I lived in like the mid to or late 2005 2010 period. There's still a drive-through in my hometown, like near my hometown, and dude, that shit was still the height of cool. Going there was like, so I'm going to the movie. Oh, okay. I'm going to the drive-through. Yo, like.
Yeah, way better. Oh,
so much cooler.
It started to rain as they got to the T-Rex paddock.
Oh no!
So as a
that
kid,
would, you know what?
No, I
if that happened to me as a kid, I'd be one of them fucking idiots on Twitter. Like, they got a weather machine. I saw it when I was a boy.
Like it was fantastic.
That's fucking. Oh my god, that would give me chills. Well, it give me a lot more than chills, but.
We had a Hyundai too with a sunroof, right? So all I could imagine, right, was just the same thing that was happening to, to Tim and Lex, right? I'm like, that just happened to this car, And as a kid, right,
you're like you're looking up at the sunroof, like, what if the T-Rex did push down on that sunroof?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm jealous of that. That's fucking sick, dude. So I can't remember. I think I saw the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man in a drive-through. I also saw a double feature. You're gonna laugh. This is the greatest double feature ever. Finding Nemo and Pirates of the Caribbean. I saw that in a drive-through, and dude, that shit was amazing. That was the best drive-through night ever.
It doesn't
You
sound
would not
bad,
ever
that's for
guess
sure.
that. You would not ever guess that I watched those two movies back to back. But those two movies go like fucking wine and cheese back to back. You keep saying drive-through. Yeah, because it was at a drive-through, Brute. Like, do you not realize how cool that is? I've been to movies before, dude. Like, when I was younger in the military, every time I went on leave, I'd go to the movies because at the time my little brother worked for the local movie theater, so I got tickets for free. Drive-through, drive-in. Oh, fuck you. Same. You know what the fuck I meant. You fucking smartass. I don't think we're gonna need guns. I'm gonna bring one. Just because I'm in my inventory already anyway.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna bring a med gun because every time I don't, I definitely end up needing one. Oh man, that box just threw me and now I'm bleeding at 5% health. Oh no, but
Yeah,
we didn't bring any med guns. Oh no.
I'm missing my arm. Somebody help me sew it back on.
Do you have any drinks? I might have to go buy some. Okay, if you can bring some cruises, that's the only thing I'm missing. I know I have a shitload at Seraphim, so if we go back to Seraphim, I can grab some there. But like, I don't know how the containers work with this new inventory system. And personally, I don't think they do work. So I'm keeping all my inventory at Orison instead of moving it to Seraphim like I normally do.
Gotcha.
Because like I did this thing where like I took all of my favorite armor. Now this is stupid because I took like all of my favorite armor. I put it in a container.
Yeah.
Then I took that container, I put it on my cargo freight elevator, and I brought it up so that I could tractor beam it onto my cargo grid. When I walked over to the cargo freight elevator, there were the two containers that I had summoned, but they were empty. So I went back to my inventory terminal, and all the items that I had put into those containers were neither in my inventory nor in the container.
Oh, lovely.
And most of those items that I put into those containers were items you have to grind 890 jump FPS missions to get.
Yeah, sure.
So I wasn't pleased.
That's understandable.
But when it comes to containers, nah, man, Sika don't fuck with containers.
Thank you.
We had some bad experiences. Sika don't fuck with containers.
Yeah.
Not anymore, man. That's too dangerous.
I think I probably moved about like 80% of my inventory on Orison up to Seraphim in boxes, but I took like 26 ASU boxes in my A2.
See, I've got like,
one
yeah,
and a half trips. It was just a long time. It's not worth doing that much moving.
I only have 8 boxes worth. Because I've done it, you know, when we had local inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually the reason I bought a Hercules. I bought an M2, literally for that. And it wasn't that bad, but it was definitely something that when a patch hit, I would do it off stream.
Yeah.
But like, you know, when I was like, hey, let's get into Star Citizen again, and oh, we got hangars, and oh, look at this freight elevator, oh, look at all this, blah, 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 blah. And I finally was like, I just lost 2 containers worth of armor. My best armor, my favorite armor. 2 entire ASU containers filled with my favorite armor that I have to grind for. Poofed right in my face. I was like, maybe us in chat and me combined just don't know the system well enough or something, but clearly something didn't go according to plan And I appear to be out of many hours worth of grinding. So it's like, that equation means I'm going to go low flying and try to put it out of my mind. That's what I did about it.
Yeah, that would definitely put a damper on my mood too.
It was tough. It was a tough loss because like I have a particular set of gear that I like to run. It's like, I mean, I'll run any gear for like, you know, hey, you need me to fucking back you up? All right, I'll throw on whatever fucking armor I have. But like when I want to, you know, look the way I want to look, I like running the Clash arms and legs. Why not helmet and Stitcher core? Or not Stitcher core. Oh fuck, what's the Molly vest looking one? The black one with the Molly loops. It's a medium. I think it looks criminal enough without copying the dudes from the 890 jump missions.
That's fair.
And it's like, I don't know, it's my drip, man. It's like, but like,
Yeah, that's what you
I
like.
also like it because you have to earn it. Like, you can only get it, like the Stitcher legs, for example. If you're lucky, you find 2 sets on a single 890 jump mission. If you're unlucky, you find 0. On most of them, you find 1. So that's why I also don't do 890 jump missions from a light fighter, because like, you know, I can't store boxes of armor. Back to Crichton, I love a lot of movies based on his books. Congo's a fave of mine. Oh, I've never seen Congo. Actually, I don't know if I read Congo. I think I started to,
You've
but I
never
didn't
seen
finish it.
Congo?
The movie? No. So I'm
Have you
also
read
a
the
Stephen
book?
King fan. Not all the way through. I'm a Stephen King
Oh my
fan though,
gosh.
and
Oh
I'm
my gosh,
used to
okay.
Stephen King's
We gotta
movies.
we're having a movie
being
night.
bad.
We're having a movie night.
Oh
No.
god. Did my stream just get fucking hijacked? Did pirated? Fucking
100%.
Are we
Fuck yeah.
are we gonna do like a mission, find 0 drugs, and be like, all right, that's justification for movie night? Like,
No. Also, the target on this one is the fucking Redeemer,
I mean,
so it's kind of a
the
bummer.
the danger for mutiny on my stream is always pretty high because like when somebody like says this movie is good, I fucking love movies. It's not very hard to convince me to watch a movie. I'll admit it. It is not very difficult. My wife is a lot more picky. She doesn't like really sitting down and dedicating to a story for 2 hours as much. She likes reality garbage when she wants to turn her brain off, and she likes good miniseries when she wants to just have like a quick nip at a good story. Like I'm actually really far behind her right now in House of the Dragon, but we started watching that a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm still trying to fucking get her to finish Rings of Power, but I've always been a bigger LOTR nerd, and the show does start off a little slow. So I
Yeah,
can't
that's
really like
understandable.
hate on her about that. you
Yeah.
know? There was one point though, we were having marriage arguments in Germany about Game of Thrones, because like I knew a guy that season 7 Game of Thrones was a fun time because it was before like the entire decline of the series, but it was also like the height of the popularity. So I had a friend in Germany, and he had his ear to the ground on everybody who would leak an episode. So like on Tuesday, he'd hit me up and be like, HBO India this time, you know, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
give me your hard drive, you know? and so like we watched the first 2 episodes of season 7, like after dinner, you know, like snuggling on the couch, like husband and wife shit. And then there was a few nights where she was like, I don't really feel like watching something. Let's play a game instead. And I knew that I had a 24-hour duty coming up. And so eventually the night before my duty, I looked at her and I held the drive up and like brandished it at her. And I was like, All of season 7 is on this shit. We're blue balls on the first 2 episodes, and you've said you don't feel like watching the last few nights, 4 nights in a row. I'm going on a 24-hour duty. If you don't watch this shit with me, at least the next episode, 1 episode, I will watch the whole season while I'm on 24-hour duty without you. And she didn't think I was gonna do it, but I did it, and she was really mad. But like, I was like, I fucking told you. and I made it really bad. I was a little petty about it. When we did watch it together, when anything crazy would happen, I'd be like, oh my lord. Whoa, whoa.
No.
Oh, I hit something. What the fuck did I hit?
Are you okay?
I don't know. Stand by. For now, I am. I have not died yet. What the fuck happened? Did I hit a mountain? I was not that low.
You're sliding.
Yeah, I started.
Okay, you just caught some air though.
All right, I'm back up. I think I hit like a fucking mountain or something. It was like I hit the ground, but I was like, no way I was that low. Do we have any ships worth looting that survived? Or should we just fucking hit SCD-1 and repair rearm?
The Corsair's flipped, so I'm thinking repair and rearm.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think, especially with 2 of us, I think we can crack a Corsair. Even if you gotta jump off my ramp while I'm hovering, I think we can pull it off.
All right. I was gonna say, if you can go ahead and scan it. Remember that they never fixed the Hornet scanners, so.
Oh yeah, I'm so used to like cracking the cargo bay open and seeing what I have, just because I'm so used to seeing scanners that be like, nope, nothing worked, and then it's like, wait, hang on, this is a full cargo bay.
Well, on the Corsair too, so the Corsair still, for some reason, doesn't open when you shoot its doors.
Well, but if we soft death it, we can just hit the buttons.
We should just be able to push the button, yeah.
Yeah. Actually not. Well, like sometimes. Oh my god. Do you see this thing trolling us?
Position?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I actually think that's hilarious. That's fucking funny. The movies have started this way. Try scanning again. The first one just like prematurely ended. Quantanium, Altrucitoxin. Oh, we got a little bit of something worthwhile. 2 things that are worthwhile. If you want, I'll put you on the ramp, or like put you deep in the cargo grid while I'm moving. Yeah. But I'll see if I can like walk you in close enough to the ramp button on that ship.
Sounds good. All right, I'm in.
Yeah, again, like, I know this isn't money worthwhile, but I've spent, ever since I got into this game, I've spent pretty much all my time making fun of the min-maxers on social media.
Which is kind of ridiculous, you know, when you look at what they're trying to go ahead and do.
So, okay, the button is on the right side. I think I lined you up on the wrong side. I lined you up on the right side if it was right side up. Come back in so I can like shift without throwing you.
Gotcha.
I put you on the wrong side. I gotta get you around this corner, and then when the door opens, then I gotta line you up with it. I don't know, maybe? Tell me if it's like a dangerous move.
Hold on. You might have to just like draw me on top of it, or like, you know, on top of the wreck first. I think the button's all the way at the bottom, right?
You're fucking right. I gotta do this. So I like also doing this in first or third person mode because it helps your brain kind of think backwards. And like so one of the things I like to do when like Bigfoot's flying his 890, low flying nights, I like to fly right in front of the cockpit window but backwards facing him. It's really fucking hard though. Like you literally have to think backwards. And this helps practice it, I guess. Oh, stop moving.
All right, hold on.
I'm also gonna nose down a bit
Make it a
so
jump.
that. Oh, it's moving.
All right,
You're surfing. You're surfing it. You're surfing it.
I'm flying. I'm flying.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
It's coming down on top. Hold on, hold on. Stand by. I have a concussion. I'm okay still.
Oh, you're up. You're up on your feet.
I'm up. I'm up.
Wait, did it flip over? No, it's still upside down. What the fuck? How did this thing fall off a cliff and it's still upside down? Wait, hang on. Congo has Tim Curry with a crazy Russian accent. Didn't Tim Curry have a crazy Russian accent in... No, it wasn't a Russian accent. In... Which Command and Conquer? Tiberian Sun. That's a fucking game. You're old if you remember.
I love
Command
those
and
live
Conquer,
actions.
Tiberian
Those were
Sun.
so fun.
Dude, they had James Earl Jones. They had fucking
Yeah.
Tim Curry. I lived for that shit, dude. And so, like, me and my brother beat Tiberian Sun. My little brother helped me. He was kind of too young, so he was really just kind of there. But we did not have the ability to save files on the family computer. I don't know why. I think it was probably just because of installation space. I think we just filled up the entire fucking hard drive with just installing that game, Tiberian Sun. So what we had to do was we basically had to post shifts, so that if somebody wasn't playing, somebody else had to make sure the computer didn't like shut down while no one was paying attention.
Yeah.
And it was over summer vacation, and we did it one time over many failures. I mean, it was like this is like one of the first deathless speed runs, basically. Like, you know how you start it over and over and over and over again, like you have all these setbacks. The only possible way we could progress in the game was consecutively. I don't remember the technical reason exactly why, because, you know, I was 8.
Yeah.
But we had to beat the game without ever saving the game. Ever. And if
Yeah,
we
one
failed,
sitting.
that means we literally had to start the whole fucking thing over again. It was our... You know what? Maybe that's why I like hard games. Because I know that high of being on the last mission like, come on!
Yeah.
And then finally, like, the vindication of, like, we fucking did it. Probably also why me and my brothers have a strong relationship, because, man, we've been through some shit. Was that medical supplies or ultrasotoxin?
Altrusia.
Oh, we'll take that. Yep. The days of FMV video games. God, those were good days. And, like, especially as kids, we looked at the FMV videos and we're like, I don't know how gaming's ever gonna top this. Remember that shit? We looked at that shit and we were like, this is the fucking future. Did you get the Altrusia and the Quant already?
I'm grabbing. I got one SU Quant. How many SUs of Quant were there?
I can't remember.
It's medical.
It
Corundum.
might have said 4.
Tungsten,
I'm really
iron,
not sure.
copper, corundum.
It's a very good chance that you already got all there was.
Copper, quartz. Yeah, I think that's it. Scrap.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close the door so I don't buck you out, and then I'll drop you by your ship, and we'll rearm repair and get on with the next one. So there are flat 1x4s now.
Yes.
So I think if we make one of those out of the littles, we can always throw a 8 on top, and that's like a full, you know, corner of the grid.
I should move the drugs to the front, though. Correct.
I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. Because it's not like we're gonna, you know, be drowning in cargo boxes in the next hour.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, hold on. While you're here,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put some drinks in your ship. Hold on. Drive your
Oh,
ramp
fuck,
again.
yeah, you're right. This is really messed up one called Phantasmagoria that has stuck with me for a few decades now. Wait, did it scar you as a kid? Oh, I want to know about games that scarred people. Phantasmagoria. Have you ever heard of that, Zach?
I don't think I have.
Was it Windows, like PC, Windows 95, 8, something like that? You know what game fucked with me a lot when I was a little kid on PlayStation 2? Twisted Metal Black. Because the little character stories, even though looking at them as an adult now, like they're all fucking like, you know, comic booky and crazy. Dude, they got a little fucking real in some of them. They got a little real and they got a little creepy in some of them. It always kind of like bothered me as a little kid, like when you would kill somebody in Twisted Metal Black, you would see like the driver like running and screaming on fire for like a few seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That fucked with me a little bit when I was a little kid. I love that game though. God. I love a game that can make you remember it years later. Like, unintentionally. But like, I had a summer where it was really kind of hard to sleep because of that shit as a kid. And you don't get games that can do that to you anymore. I kind of wish I could find one, and I would 100% play it on the hardest difficulty for Halloween this year if I could find a game that could actually fucking fuck with me. That'd be so cool. But also back then, I wasn't like as big into horror and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like I think back then too, like I was I had older siblings, so they were playing like, you know, whatever on screen. Dude, there was a Jurassic Park game actually. Now we're circling back to this. There's a Jurassic Park game that was released on Super Nintendo.
Oh, I fucking loved that game.
And it had the first-person portions where you would get to like
those
you
are
know,
terrifying.
the bunkers and stuff.
Yeah, and then you turn a corner,
and
a spitter would just fucking jack you up.
The sounds all of a sudden, right? And the sudden like,
Oh
and
my
you go, oh my
God.
gosh, right? You freak out trying to figure it out. And I was not expecting all the FPS in that game, right? As a kid,
So
dude, that thing
the sounds,
scared the shit out of me.
the sounds in the FPS mode made me like so conscious about games like that are in first person in horror, because it's like, you know, those moments that remind you don't have eyes in the back of your head get me. You know, like in The Sixth Sense, you know, like when the chick is in the very beginning in the cellar and she's like, it obviously unsettles her and she kind of like hurries up going up the stairs. That shit resonated with me as a kid.
Yeah.
And it was because of shit like that. You know, like, and I was telling Tina about this because, you know, we haven't finished it yet, but there's a Dying Light file that we've been running. And Dying Light was one of those games when I first started playing it where, like, you would miss a jump, end up flat on the street, and you'd be scrambling to climb up on top of this van while all you can hear is zombies coming at you. But, like, you can't see them because your focus is the top of the van that you're climbing. And it was the scariest fucking moment where you're just like scrambling up this van and you just all but know that something's gonna fucking grab you. And that's like, that's the horror and scary shit that I fucking love, because like, it's one thing that you never get past unless you play the game way too much.
Well, yeah, because it you know, it preys upon reality, right? And
Yes!
you know something is there. You can feel that in real life. I mean, we've all been in that position of when we were in the dark, right? Your brain is hardwired to tell you, hey, the dark is full of scary things because
The dark is full of
night.
any possible predator that you can't see. I love that shit. That's also why, like, you know, for other reasons that I loved Alien Isolation so much, is like, I knew a little bit about Alien Isolation before I played it, and one of the things that I knew about it was how adaptive the alien actually is and how advanced for its time the AI is. So like, I'm going into Alien Isolation, first time playing it, and all I know about it is that my enemy is a fucking Velociraptor smart. That shit unsettled me deeply. And is one of the reasons why Alien Isolation is my top horror game of all time. Because I went back and I played it again, and shit was still true. And then I played it a third time on the hardest difficulty. And I can't remember who the fuck convinced me to do that, but I'm still beefing with that motherfucker. And then they go and they announce a crazy reckless thing like they're making an Alien Isolation sequel the other day. Man. That's fucking exciting. Oh man, can I seriously not repair? I had that crash and I can't repair. I can rearm, I can fucking maybe try like leaving it. I'll try leaving it, coming back.
Gotcha.
Super lame.
It's kind of weird, dude. I could see almost like the lights of where your wings are supposed to be.
Yeah. Streaming through Dead Space was pretty fun to watch. Dude, streaming through Dead Space was... I don't know how to describe it because it was a lot of things at once to me. It was really fun, especially since I never played it when it was new. Part of the fact that it was extremely fun was the fact that I was streaming it. That really kind of enhanced it for me. And, you know, since I was streaming it, I was pushing myself to do it at the highest difficulty. Again, that had a lot of pluses and minuses involved because it was extremely... When they say you're playing Dead Space on hard, brother, they ain't fucking kidding. They ain't fucking kidding. Dude, if you miss a shot, you're just like, oh shit, I seriously don't know how I'm gonna survive this situation now because I missed that one shot and I needed every shot that I have. You know, I spent so much time avoiding combat so that I could build up those 6 rounds of ammo that I just blew and I missed one of the shots. Like, fuck, what do I do now? And so I think that the intensity and the difficulty of of Dead Space force you to put yourself into the headspace of your character. So like by the end of the game, it was so, well, being an engineer and also being stressed out of your fucking mind.
Oh, being psychotic. Also,
Yeah,
really,
like
you know,
you're basically like you're at the end of your sanity just out of pure stress. Because any idiot can play a video game and be like, that guy kind of looks like a zombie with spikes on him, and get used to it, right? And it's not that scary. But when you know that that motherfucker will one-shot you if you let him, and there's 6 of them, oh, and now there's one that's jumping at you, that's stress. And that level of stress, like learning the boss fight, the final boss fight, even when I got good at understanding what I had to do, it still took me a few hours to do. And so like it got to the point where I was like playing this boss fight for like the 3rd hour straight, like at the end of my fucking rope. Like, come on, hit the fucking thing. All right, he grabbed me. Let's fucking hit the weak points. And all right, come on, we fucking made it. All right, like, and it's just and when I finally beat the boss, zero exaggeration, I was like, and I was like, you know what? It occurred to me. I was like, that's probably how the character should feel too. I think I have to go to Seraphim. I can't get shit for repairs here.
Alright, so good.
But yeah, no, so like, I think Dead Space was one of those games that I'll never play a second time. Because, one, it took so much out of me to do it once. And I mean that. But for the second reason,
Really?
it wouldn't have the same magic to it. Like, playing it for the first time on the hardest difficulty is something you can only do one time. And especially streaming it the whole time, you know, like,
Yeah.
every part that I flew through, every puzzle that I was like, I know this, and then every part that I just fucking struggled, everyone was there to witness. And so that was a huge plus for me, like motivation-wise and also like validation-wise. Like, at the end of it all, I did it and it was fucking witnessed. Maybe not by a million people, maybe not by everybody I know, but it was fucking witnessed. So many juicy stomps. I did really enjoy it. So, like, I wasn't sure that I was going to enjoy Dead Space, especially because I played it in... When did I play that? That was like... Oh, my stream decided to take a shit for a while. We'll be back in, you know, a couple of minutes when my internet decides to continue providing me a service.
Good old Cox.
Yeah. But I don't remember when that was. I was in New Hampshire, so it was between the years of the end of 2019 and the end of 2021. So yeah, I think it might have been, I don't know, winter 2020 maybe? The game was a lot of fun though. And it was like, it was one of those things where it was like, I wasn't sure I was going to like it, partially because I played the first couple of levels when it was brand new at like a friend's house in like 2008. You know, after like getting out of school. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. I wasn't that big into it. And also, you know, like being in 2021 playing a game from 2008, I was like, oh, I'm really not sure how well this is going to translate. And I was blown out of my mind, dude. Before the game was remade, it was fucking incredible. Like, through the ages. There were a couple of small, like, graphical things and maybe a couple of control things that needed, you know, the remake. But the remake was a cash grab, 100%. Like, it didn't need a remake.
Yeah, agreed.
And I was also pissed about the remake because it was like, kind of, they announced it like right after I beat the original, like 20 years later almost. So I was like, come on, you fucking pussies. Like, I did it.
I mean, like, even then, I mean, so it kind of reminds me of like when they did that, if it's like a true remake or if it's or if it's just a remaster, right? And it's like they do that a lot. Where it's like, okay, what's actually different? Because if it's a remake, right, it should not be the same at all.
Like the Halo 1 remaster, it was like audio and visuals that were attached over the original skins. It was awful, right? If I play Halo 1, I use the old graphics because I just know for a fact that on the new graphics, I'm just going to be shooting hitboxes the whole time. None of my rounds are going to hit the enemy because they're going to be hitting hitboxes. And if I want to see what I'm shooting at, I have to use the old graphics. But Halo 2 Anniversary, I dare somebody to fucking say a word against it. I'll fucking kill them. So it's like, yeah, you have that, like, on the one hand, Halo 1 Anniversary was awful. Like, it looked pretty occasionally, and you'd switch back and forth just to see the difference. But then Halo 2 Anniversary was like experience Halo 2 for the first time all over again.
Yeah, and see, I'm playing through all the Halos again with my son. Right, we're on Halo 5. Well, actually, no, we're on Halo 4. Halo 5, we're not going to have split screen, so
That's
sad.
tough. Well,
you know, but
you
it's
know
like,
what?
oh well, at least he'll be able to play through it.
You have an opportunity as a Halo fan. Your son can live a world where he can experience a story where humans can come together against a common enemy and put everything on the line and really define what service means. And you can tailor that story so that he will never know Halo 5 ever existed.
That's true.
And you can tailor that. And you know what? I envy your son. Because when I was leaving Germany, I stayed with my friend for 3 weeks after I turned in my house and then before I caught the plane to leave Germany. And he had an Xbox. This was after I transitioned to PC. So he was like, man, I got the Master Chief Collection. You should play Halo 5. You're such a big Halo fan. It's the only one you ever played because, I know you're on PC. So I did play Halo 5. I wish I didn't play Halo 5. I wish I remained ignorant about that part of the story. I would have been happier for it. Okay, this fucking sucks. This ship will not
Halo
repair.
5 is not.
Now I had fun with the
Right.
gameplay. I'll give them I'm not gonna be like a hate train guy. I did have fun with the gameplay, and the cutscenes were pretty cool, and the premise was pretty cool. But that's also kind of part of the problem. If the gameplay and the premise and the cutscenes were cool, how the fuck did it suck? They were handed a golden goose. How did they fumble that? And every time I talk about 343 Industry fumbles, it brings back to my mind when Helldivers 2 came out.
Welcome.
Do you know what I found out? Do you know what the rest of us Halo fans found out? 343 Industries floated a Helldivers 2 style game about ODSTs, and Microsoft shot it down.
Yeah, and now we have.
Do you,
Whether we have
if we got Helldivers 2 years ago, but Halo themed, Microsoft, PlayStation would have gone fucking bankrupt.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have bought that for me and every friend I have. I would have figured out ways to spend more money on that shit. I'm sorry, but Halo ODST is like one of the most beloved stories in the entire game, and it's at best a DLC. If they expanded and made a full game on that, bruh. Dude, the entire internet would have been fully bricked up about that shit.
Yeah, Halo 3 ODST and Halo 2 are my son's favorites so far.
So, have you beat Halo 3 yet?
Yes, we beat Halo 3, we beat Halo 3 ODST, we played Halo Reach, we played through Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2. Once we finish up with Halo 4, I mean, we could, I guess, pick up Halo Wars.
Well, maybe.
know.
I guess you could start it and gauge his interest. But, if he's not interested, I wouldn't fucking...
Yeah,
you don't have to finish it. Because
that's what I'm thinking.
there's, a good couple of cutscenes that connect Halo Wars to Halo Infinite. But past that, I mean, is it really worth slogging through entirety of 2 games just to get those couple of cutscenes that connect Halo Wars to Halo Infinite?
Yeah, I don't think so. And that's what I've been thinking about too. It's and just also based on the fact that we've been playing a lot these games together, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I don't think
yeah.
Halo Wars, the first one, I don't think it's co-op at all.
Nope.
Yeah, I'd skip it. You get them into reading. Put them on the Fall of Reach. Do you have an ERT capable ship? I think I'm gonna have to blow this fucker up. And claim it.
I mean, I can do ERTs in the Hornet.
Do you have something you can well, actually, if you could do that, then I'll just fucking pull my Hercules. I'm gonna have to blow this fucker up to get the wings back and to get it repaired. Let me just throw this few boxes in the freight elevator.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, like Halo. So like me and a couple of guys were talking about like Lord of the Rings lore earlier, and they were like, man, they're like, I got to level with you. Pretty sure you know a lot more about Lord of the Rings than I do, which is not a strange statement for me to hear. But Halo is also another one of those things that I know far more than any normal person has a right to know about. But like Halo captured me at a young fucking age. You know, like what can you expect, you know? And I was into reading, and there were novels. Bro, say less.
Yeah.
Halo was my first FPS. And when I say first FPS, I mean my best friend and I went to somebody's birthday party. I can't remember what. We were in 8th grade. And his parents had like rented him an Xbox from fucking Blockbuster. And so we went back to him and his parents' house and played Halo. And when I say played Halo, I'm talking Halo 1 on Blood Gulch, 1v1ing for 8 fucking hours. And I got my shit pushed in for 8 fucking hours. He would just like walk up behind me and like smack me in the back because I couldn't figure out the 2 joysticks at once. And by the end of the night, I started figuring it out. I was riveted the whole time. I've been obsessed with Halo ever since.
I mean, that's good though, right?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome, dude. Like, if I was an adult watching us play, I would have fucking killed myself 5 minutes in. But like, as a kid, I was fucking riveted the whole time. It was amazing. It was one of my best life experiences. I remember stopping in the middle of a fight on Xbox One, on Halo 1, and being like, bro, look at this. Look it down. Look at this. You can see individual blades of grass. What the fuck? Look at that shit. I remember stopping and we just sat there for a while, and then he would grab a warthog and start shooting the ground. We'd be like, look at the way the dirt flies. You know, and shit like that, throwing grenades.
Yeah.
2001 was a magical time, dude, in gaming. Like, we literally were looking at shit from 2001 being like, how the fuck
experience anything like that again?
Dude, wonder like that? So that's what kids these days are missing. Because like, and I've mentioned this before too, is like when games come out nowadays, if a developer says, look how amazing our graphics are, every single gamer who hears that statement knows that they're hiding something. Because graphics don't matter anymore. I was telling Tina that fucking yesterday. We were playing Far Cry 5, and as soon as we loaded up, I looked around. I was like, how fucking old is this game again? God, this game's fucking beautiful, you know? Alien Isolation. Perfect example. It is still treated today like a game that just came out.
Please visit us again.
It looks like a game that just came out. The AI acts like an AI that was just developed. The game was made in 2014. The game is 10 years old. So like, you know, Star Wars Outlaws, when the fucking producer's like, oh, gamers just have too high standards these days. That guy can shove a dildo all the way his fucking ass until it comes out his mouth. Oh, gamers just have high standards that are way too high.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah, when people are like, well, Baldur's Gate is an exception. It's like,
no, it's not. They just
I don't think so.
They just like they literally had and it is funny because like sometimes these Kotaku articles and stuff come out after the fact where like, you know, it'll be like, hey, here's the new news. Baldur's Gate devs literally had a meeting and they sat down in a boardroom and said, hey guys, how do we make this not suck? And like a lot of the time, that's literally how it went down. And then, like, you know, you see people with like data-based, you know, dev decisions, like PUBG. PUBG was a big one for this one. The PUBG spent like 3 years straight. Every single update would be like, well, we find that players aren't using shotguns in long-range engagements, so we're gonna buff shotguns and buff their spawn rate. And I was like, am I a crazy person? Am I the only one here who thinks this doesn't make sense?
Probably.
But like the entire, well, at least the entire NA database, but it was basically the entire database that was like, what the fuck did you just say? Shotguns are not being used enough in long range engagements, so you're removing other things. And you know, it was like, but the entire thing, they would be like, PUBG would be like, oh well, you know, we agree with, you know, our player feedback, but what our data has shown is that shotguns aren't being used. And I was like, if I hear data has been shown one more fucking time, I'm turning into a terrorist. Like, oh, this elevator's broken. It will not click any
Well, it's
button
the same
below
thing that
pad
I
4.
hear too with I hear the same thing like with Helldiver early on, right? It was they were basing off of data sets and data tables they've gathered, but it's like
Well, Helldivers had a bit more to go on because, like, when they said, hey, we don't want an obvious meta, well, that's a decent place to come from, you know? And then they said data shows that everyone uses, like, a railgun and a shield pack. And they were correct because every mission I did, I was fucking using that shit. And everyone I knew was using that shit because it was awesome. And then here's where they went wrong. They said, we're nerfing those things because they're overused. And every one of the player base was like, are you fucking nuts? They're overused because they're good. Make other things good. Hello? Yeah. And it took until September 17th, almost a month ago, when they finally were like, hey guys, we've got this new fucking radical strategy. We're not going to worry about what's OP. We're just going to make more things OP so that if there's an option that's OP, there's also other things that are OP. And everyone was like, that's what we've been fucking saying the whole time.
Yeah, like why would they take an entire kit and just make it entirely unusable or unfun? Like,
exactly.
You know, in the end, it's like the game is for fun.
Well, and think about it from like a sweat standpoint. Like, because think about it from like my standpoint. I'm kind of a sweat. I like doing what works the best. So when you nerf what works the best, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find what replaces it because something will. And then you nerf that. So I'm going to find... So when I first got leveled up in Helldivers, I started using the shield backpack and the railgun. The only problems I ever had was like if a tank was facing me, because then I had to like, you know, challenge myself to either use airstrikes to take it out or get behind it. But, you know, like I didn't have zero options. And then they nerfed the railgun and they came out with the Quasar cannon. And the downside was like, well, you had to charge it up. So I got good at charging it up in cover and then popping out, boop, fire, get back in cover. I got real good at that shit. Then they nerfed the cooldown time so that the Quasar had 13 seconds instead of 8 seconds for cooldown before you could start charging it up again. So then I switched to the recoilless rifle. And it was like, I've been a sweat. I've been the same sweat the whole time. You know? The only thing that changed was when the devs forced me to change. Now, like I play Helldivers, and I have what I like and what works for my play style. And other people are like, well, I like this instead. And I'm like, okay. Use it then. You know, I'm not like, but it sucks and you're ruining our team. It's like a huge difference.
Well, yeah, because it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure they'll find something that's effective, right, and use it.
It doesn't. Well, because they said
it's not effective. They won't use it in the end, anyways. So you know, I don't know. It's left up for common sense, right? Of like,
well, they said
how to utilize this in a way that's going to make it or good.
They said we're going to stop worrying about nerfing things because you know we're so afraid of a meta. So we're going to buff things the way the players have said they want them buffed, and we're just going to let it lie. And the players were like cheering. They're like, fuck yeah, that's exactly what we've been asking for the entire time. And they're like, but the danger is there might be several OP options. And we're like, that means nothing is OP. If everything is OP, then nothing is OP. Which means people can use what the fuck they want and just be a part of their team. And the teams have to stop being so fucking sweaty about who they allow. You know? And it's like, oh, well, we're going to balance things. Instead of nerfing first, we're going to buff first. We're going to, you know, like... And again, everyone on Reddit, whatever, fucking... They're like, that's what we've been saying the whole fucking time. And they're like, it's a new strategy. We're going to focus on fun because this isn't a PvP game. And then everyone else in Reddit is like ripping their fucking hair out. Like, we've been saying that for 6 fucking months.
Yeah. Like, why does it have to be so sweaty? Like, we love challenge, right? Everybody here
but the thing is,
challenge.
if I want more challenge, I up the difficulty.
Exactly.
And I do it myself. The dev doesn't do it for me. The station is determined that I no longer, to convince me, to gaslight me into that I no longer own a Hercules. I know it's not correct. So I'm gonna park outside of a pad with this broke-ass Corsair that apparently cannot be repaired by anyone in Stanton. I'm gonna go inside.
Oh no.
I'm gonna get my fucking Hercules. I'm gonna use shotguns for long range shots, preferably start off. Yeah, right? Oh. I don't know if you heard that. I left my weekday alarm on my phone. This is now the point where on a weekday, I will get up and go running. But it's not a weekday, so I'm going to drink wine and play Star Citizen instead. But yeah, no, it was absolutely maddening, because they're like, on the one hand, everyone was like, downvoting the fuck out of everything on Reddit that was negative. Because it was like, shh, they're finally doing a good thing, don't discourage them, you know?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, in private, everyone was like ripping their fucking hair out. Like, just like, imagine somebody coming up all smarmy and cocky to you and being like, hey bro, I got a revolutionary idea. It's gonna revolutionize how you live your life. And they literally just regurgitate the thing you've told them every day. Every fucking day. For the last 6 months. You'd probably kill that person. I would.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I got a fucking great idea. Like, say you got a drug addict buddy. And he's like, I'm just so stressed. I'm just gonna do more coke. And then finally one day he comes at you and he's like, dude, I got the best fucking revelation last night. What if I just quit doing coke and I start eating right and working out? Like, you'd probably throttle him right then and there. I would. That's how it felt, being talked to by Arrowhead about the September 17th update. So, like, yeah. No, Star Citizen has, like, a patched history with their buffs and updates, but Helldivers is a very special case in point, both in game dev and game journalism, which I think needs to be studied by future generations. Both by future game devs and by future game journalists. Because there's also a downside to, like, you know, when PlayStation said they're going to restrict the game, you can't buy it in, like, without a PlayStation Network access. And there's also, like, you know, what, 3/4 of the entire countries of the world cannot get PlayStation access. So, like, that cut the Helldivers, you know, base by 3/4.
Yeah, that whole move by Sony was just, it ruined it.
It was terrible.
For a lot of people.
Well, but then, like, we the players had one singular shining moment of democracy that has only ever been, in my lifetime, been seen, maybe once or twice before, where the entire player base literally rised up and said, fuck you, double middle fingers up, in a way that even the biggest motherfuckers, like, deep pockets wise, couldn't ignore. That in my 34 years, that's only happened maybe twice, maybe once. And so, you know, we got the review bomb that got the PlayStation Network to like release the whole thing on Helldivers. That is one of the most insane gamer stories that's ever come out of gaming. That's
I
up
do
there.
wish that they allow the purchase now to still be carried through though in those countries, even though like they still can't buy the game.
Yeah, so
In those countries,
it wasn't
it's
100%
kind of
win.
shitty the way they did it.
The way that we got a result isn't like winning a revolution, but the way that we did get a result is fucking outstanding. From a giant group of players that are used to being told "fuck you, pay me," getting any result is pretty incredible. It's kind of up there with, remember the loot box AMA on Reddit about Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Yes.
Do you remember, did you know that that's still the most downvoted comment on Reddit of all time in Reddit history, period? Like, not just in Reddit history that year or Reddit history about gaming, period. The most downvoted comment in Reddit, period. And it happened in like 3 hours. It went from 0 downvotes to a legendary amount of downvotes in like 3 hours. And then they got like, what, sued by Belgium, and then they finally decided like, fuck man, maybe this loot box shit ain't worth it.
Yeah, and then a lot of other companies that have happened to follow suit anyways. And it's like, yeah, it brought attention to that because it's just instilling the idea of like, oh, you just have to, if you gamble more, it's like, well, yeah, but then they're skewing, you know.
Well, so I kind of,
you could win things too, and all kinds of other things.
I kind of liked what happened because you had this one company, right, that was doing loot boxes, and they started it for everyone else. And everyone else started doing loot boxes because they're like, well, EA's doing it, and look at them, dude. I mean, like, they can sell fucking, you know, soccer coach 24, 25, 26. They can sell a soccer fucking coach every game that's literally the exact same over and over again. Like, they thought it was a, you know, like a free money tree. And then they watched the entire internet force feed EA their own dick. And then from that point forward, anyone who stuck with the loot box thing had to realize that given 2 years of data, loot boxes were literally and analytically literally just a slow suicide. It wasn't the fast cash they thought it was. It wasn't $1 million in a day they thought it was. It was literally, given 2 years of data, a slow suicide. And there was no other analytical way to look at that data. And so now we see trends where loot boxes are falling off because anyone who has any kind of analyst in their company is realizing that loot boxes are slow suicide. And it all starts with the entire internet coming up as one and destroying EA in that one moment.
Yeah.
That shit literally started it.
Right?
It's fucking glorious. Well, yeah, then,
Like,
then the EU got involved because the popularity of it. The EU got involved, and they're like, say gambling what again to minors? Not on our fucking EU watch.
Exactly. And that just spurred it even more.
But the EU, they always had those laws. And they always allowed loot boxes. But the political fallout was something they couldn't ignore. And that's what actually changed it. Because they had no problem ignoring it in the past. Made them fucking money. You know? But now it was so unpopular that they might not get reelected. Now it's a fucking problem.
Alright, hold up. I'm leaving my hanger from Seraphim. I had a little bit of an oopsie poopsie happen. Little 600I decided to go ahead and jump right inside of me.
Ooh.
And we became one for a solid 15 seconds as it dragged me around inside of its cockpit.
Crime committed, failure to comply. Who the fuck? Well, I'm not slowing down now. I mean, I freaking already got the crime. Could you imagine if being pulled over and resisting being pulled over was like a one-time, like, fine of $50? Like, you see fucking lights in your rear view, and you're like, well, I already got the fucking $50 fine, so fuck it.
Yeah, like, why would you stop now?
Yeah, why would I stop now? I'm already gonna pay the $50. Might as well get where I'm going and then pay the $50. That's what I love about the cops in this game. They're like, hey, you gotta stop. And I'm like, fuck you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, anything traffic related? Nah, you pay that off. That ain't a big deal.
Did you hit the mission location and then die?
I did. I got a body marker there, though, thankfully. So.
Okay. I was gonna say, that explains why I don't see a mission marker. I'll follow you.
Quantum travel engaged.
I won't be as much help, because I'm in my M2. It's all
No
stock.
worries. I think it's just the 600 I left. The hammerhead's on the deck, so the target's actually dead. So it's a little odd. You'll see when you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the hopium, the copium, and the rage bait about like Star Citizen is honestly hilarious at this point. Just because, like, I don't know, I've been that invested in a couple of games in the past, and you know what ended up happening after years and years of being that invested, and years of, you know, hating this update or not hating that, or, you know, like white knighting this thing, or, you know, being angry at the other thing. You know what happened at the result of all of it? I still play those games.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a lot amount of people in the community that just can't stand that you're having fun.
Well, that's well. So the thing is, most of Star Citizen community are like sleepers. Like they join the Star Citizen community, but not the game itself, just so they can learn enough about it to sound like a legit player, and then just go on social media and be like, I got paid. I mean, I didn't get paid to say that the Zeus is the worst thing that'll ever happen to Star Citizen. Mark my words. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's no point to anything anymore now that the Zeus is here. And then meanwhile, like, I just log on every Saturday night and fucking join the low flying network, and we're out there like, cool flip, bro. Damn, dude, nice.
Yeah, but how dare you have fun? Right?
Yeah, I know, right? They're so mad, and they're like, yeah, but the competitive integrity is like, well, guess what? Star Citizen was never an esport in the first place. So competitive integrity has been a massive stretch, because if you want to actually talk about esports, there's one hurdle that Star Citizen will never overcome, and that's netcode. Two equally skilled PvP players in the same ship with the same loadout killing each other will have at best a coin flip of a chance, because of the netcode. Any real esport knows this. They have insane netcode. They have insane server tick rates, so that, like, you can be playing at 240 frames per second on a 240 hertz monitor on a 240 tick rate server, so that, guess what? If your bullet hits before my bullet hits, you for damn sure your bullet hit first. No question. That's how esports works, because you know what happens when esports has to deal with a lot of ties? It falls a fucking part. And you know what happens when money gets on the line? People start actually caring about the technical side. So like, you know,
And we
people
see that
that are
with all
like,
kinds of games that try to
Yeah.
push into the esports realm. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is their main limitation. It always is netcode. It's
It
or
always is.
exploits that have to revolve around netcode.
It's
And,
always that.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there are games that build themselves to be an esport, but then they run into, well, they don't have the popular. Like, if Call of Duty made a major shift and they're like, we're not going to make any graphical advancements in our next 3 games, but we're going to optimize our netcode over the next 3 years to a point where beginner players can at least play on 120 tick rate servers. That would make me start playing Call of Duty. But I know they would never do that because Call of Duty is a predatory business model. Call of Duty is nerf anything that high skill players use, buff anything that's popular with low skill players, add more items like, you know, heartbeat sensors and shit that buff the skill floor. Nerf your own esports, but have the majority of players when they think, do you want to play a shooter? All right, I'm downloading Call of Duty. You know, they get the name brand recognition by being that game that nobody can be good at, but everyone can be okay at without any skill. That's why Call of Duty is like the default shooter. Is because they appeal to the massive lowest common denominator, which is their massive group. That's their biggest group, is their shittiest players. Same with PUBG, but they don't appeal to that group. And that's why they're more niche, because they appeal more to like the mid-level, high-level players.
yeah.
But that's also why they have an esport every year. So it's like, you know, yeah, esports, by the numbers, it's not worth it. That's why Activision doesn't give a shit about it. Esports costs a lot of money, and it
Yes,
takes
it
a
does.
lot. It takes a lot to keep esports fans bought in. Especially you have like regional differences. I mean, so like I'm gonna keep bringing up PUBG. That just happens to be the esport I know the most about. But in PUBG, Korean PUBG pros get paid a salary.
Complete.
They have, like, they wake up in the morning knowing they have a job, and they practice, and they stream, and they VOD review with their coach, and they work together as a team, and they practice like aim trainer, and that's like their day. That's their job. They know what their job is. They know how to stay good at it. They know how to improve.
Yeah.
Any other esports player on PUBG in the entire world, they wake up in the morning, they fucking have an anxiety attack over whether or not they still have a job, you know. Then they try to keep up with the Koreans. And it's like, this is not a winning strategy. Like, people are always like, why are Koreans like always god tier in esports? And then you literally look at how their society treats esports players, and everyone goes, it's a mystery. I don't know. Maybe you're just being a racist and saying Koreans are better. You're like, no, those motherfuckers have job security. They have salary. Like, they're treated with respect, you know?
Yeah.
Because some magical thing in Korean culture means that, or like Japanese culture or Chinese culture, like the Asian teams, they're when you're a fucking gamer pro, you're treated like a fucking gamer pro. Like, you know, look at how we treat football players. If we
Yeah,
could give the
isn't that
respect to a
weird to think
gamer that we
about,
could
too?
give to a fucking
Yeah.
baseball player or a football player,
It's weird to think about, right? Because it's
Dude,
like,
we'd
well,
be-
you know,
we'd be-
they view people with respect just because they spent that much time working on
now-
these skills, right? So yeah,
There's-
that's respectable because not a lot of people could do that.
I mean, being a pro is being a pro. Like, I did like the Army esports thing for a bit, and for PUBG, and like I've lived. that demand of like, you have to play with your teams 4 hours a day. You have to do at least 2 hours of aim trainer a day, you know, and without the support and without a coach, it was entirely on me to do those things for myself. And it was fucking soul crushing. But if I had teams that were like, all right, bro, let's hop on the aim trainer today. You know, if I had a coach walking by like, hey man, you did really good today, keep it up. World of difference. And that's without even talking about money. You know, that's talking about just having a couple of guys that were in it with me. Like, and I did have a team, but like it was COVID, you know, we were all over the world. Like they would never put us on a tournament that would, you know, bring us together. So like, it was like, oh man, you know, hey, what's up, man? Let's hop on. Like, oh, I didn't have it in me to fucking aim trainer today because I had to, you know, be a fucking army recruiter and get 100 appointments. Otherwise, my commander would be pissed. And then now I'm logging in a PUBG, which I'm not even happy with anymore because it's, you know, it's an obligation. And now I'm sucking and I'm apologizing to my teammates for fucking sucking. And people are asking me like, did you do your aim trainer today? And I'm like, well, no, I didn't. And I'm like, man, ultimately, I just wish I could have a good night's sleep, you know? And it's like, that was how that went. But like, if I had the proper support, if my team had the proper support and buy-in from our sponsor, you realize how night and day that would have been. I would have been pumped to fucking wake up every day and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna knock out my fucking aim trainer and like, you know, I'm gonna do an hour of fucking aim trainer. And if I do worse than I did yesterday, I'm not even gonna sweat it because I'm gonna have that reinforcement telling me like, look, bro, it's just like lifting. You're not gonna have fucking dubs every single day, but you're still doing it every single day, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
I didn't have that shit resilience because it was fucking COVID, and I was getting like, you know, shit on by a toxic leadership about army recruiting every single day. And I wasn't allowed to treat, you know, competitive gaming like it was an actual real thing. Like it was, I had to treat it like it was a, you know, little hobby, a cute little hobby that I do sometimes. But at the same time, when I wasn't the best at it, I was a piece of shit. So it's like, all right, fucker, which is it? You know, can't have both. And then I watched like, you know, my favorite pros and shit in PUBG, and they're getting just rolled by these Korean teams. And I'm like, how are these Korean teams so good? Like, motherfucker, because they're allowed to work.
It's a fucking job, yeah.
They're not being held fucking back all the time. And they're not waking up every single morning like, do I still have a job? How am I gonna eat next month? They're not worried about that shit. That's our biggest problem, like, as American culture, and it's an American culture thing. You know, like, it's gotta be physical in order for it to be valid. That's such crap. You know, like, we've had chess in the Olympics for fucking how long now? Which, chess is legally an esport.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of stigmas too with, you know, Western society as a whole.
It is
around gaming in general, right?
Well,
you know,
it's all about
if
like
you're a gamer is lazy, you know.
yeah, it's all about toxic masculinity
to it.
shit.
Exactly.
Like, oh well, clearly you don't have a penis because you're fucking playing video games, you know. Dude,
Which
oh
is
my
just
god,
silly.
I literally almost gave up on pulling boxes out of this place. And right when I pulled up this big box of scrap, which is worth like literally nothing, I see this bright green box right behind it, baby.
There you go.
Bro, the last two 1x2s in this hammerhead was Widow and Weevil eggs, brother.
Awesome.
I was literally about to give up, like, there ain't nothing in here. And then I pulled that last box while I was like saying that last thing, and I was like, oh, I see green. I see fields of green.
Don't worry, we'll see more too by the end of this.
Dude, that reminds me. You know that
Probably
line
be
in
on for another hour and a half or so. So we got like an hour and a half to go ahead and grind out probably like 3 or 4 more, and then I got some more for you too back at Orison.
Oh, I don't need no handouts. I just like the fucking grind. Like I like the
Well,
loot.
no,
you know?
it's not a handout because you gotta fucking sell the damn thing. You know, like you gotta
Well-
go to the salvage yard to find one that works, right?
Well, yeah,
And
but
you
I
do the
gotta
legwork and...
pay a bunch of motherfuckers to come with me to sell it. You know?
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I can't go sell shit solo, dude. That shit's out of the question. Sell shit solo, man. My fucking ship's gonna get torpedoed by a goddamn NPC Eclipse or fucking, you know, just get
That was
rammed by a
bullshit.
goddamn.
That was so bullshit.
That was bullshit, but the multiple fucking cutties every other time that I've ever been there, it may still be bullshit, but it is consistent enough that it's our duty as players to plan against it. So if I want to sell what I got to give a person a reason to camp that whole area while I do that selling. And there ain't no reason like money. Or cargo. Give them half the cargo, and then I fucking watch the area while they sell.
I mean, yeah, that's been my main idea too. Is like I just pay people. I pay people with the Weevil itself.
So I
That
can't
way
really
don't have
like.
to go ahead and do the legwork for it.
Oh fuck! All those drinks you put on were on the other ship too, huh?
Yeah.
I might have to go back to Seraphim. I'm
I will too.
26%.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll meet you back over there.
Damn. It kind of sucks when we're a little low on time that we have to make extra runs, but whatever, you know. Star Citizen's a long form game. I'm not gonna hate it for that.
I said at least we're doing stuff. You know, we're schmooving.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest frustration with Star Citizen has always been like in the past when it comes to like time-based things, like it's kind of a loaded sentence when somebody goes like, "Hey man, let's do Jump Town." Because like to me, Jump Town is like you and I party up. You and I realize your ship that you need is in Area 18. You go to Area 18. Somebody else says, "Bro, you're doing Jump Town? Let me join." We invite them. They realize, "Oh, fuck. I have the perfect ship for this. I just haven't bought it yet, but I have the money." So they go off to like fucking Microtech or whatever to like get some part that they want before they buy their ship. And then they go to Area 18. Fast forward 3 hours later, we still haven't done Jump Town, and I've got 5 motherfuckers telling me, "Oh, hold on, bro, one more second, I'm almost ready." That shit used to drive me fucking bananas. But that's like a
Yeah,
player thing, not a game thing.
I was
So,
gonna
like, it
say,
started
I
getting to the
tend more
point
so
where,
lean
like-
into, people
when
know if they're
people
organized, right? They know.
Yeah, well, that's when I started getting into the point where it's like, especially as a streamer, like, people may or may not join me at any time. And especially in Star Citizen, I've always maintained if people want to join the squad, as long as it's not in bad faith, they're welcome. You know, like, I've told people a billion times, and sometimes I've even regretted it, but I stuck with it. I stay in unlocked voice channels in my Discord when I'm playing Star Citizen, because that means the squad's open. You know, anyone can take a hint. If you can join the voice channel, that means you can join the game.
Landing gear up.
But like sometimes it's backfired on me a little bit. You know, sometimes I ended up doing nothing with 87 people talking in my ears. Because some people just, they don't want to play with you, they just want to hear themselves on your stream.
Gotcha.
But like, I mean, it has a give and take, but overall it's been very rewarding. I've just met a lot of people that I enjoyed meeting. And that's like the, you know, by and large takeaway. So I don't sweat Star Citizen for like making changes where it's like, "Oh fuck man, you know, I gotta head back to Seraphim because, well, I gotta drop off this gear and that's also where my drinks are, so, you know, other people would be like, man, fucking thirst is such bullshit. And I'm like sitting here in Arizona, coming from like, you know, a humid place. And I'm like, my guy, thirst isn't bullshit. You know, I'm fucking thirsty all the time. I'm not gonna begrudge Star Citizen for making me thirsty because I've been playing for 3 hours without taking a drink. Like, no, the game's saying like, hey, you need to go take a drink. I really appreciate. I like that in games. A little bit of realism. It's not obsessed with realism, but there's that little bit of like, you can't go your entire life without drinking a fucking bottle of water. Crime committed, failure to comply. Wow, that sucks for you, bro. I don't know how you're gonna deal with that, but I wish you the best of luck. I can't jump anywhere. I don't know what's wrong. Oh wait, is that another Yella? Let me try jumping to Yella and then Crusader. I think that somehow Daymar has desynced, and the game thinks that Daymar is in my way.
I definitely had some silly issues at Daymar earlier. We were just there.
Yeah, I couldn't jump anywhere until I pointed at Yella, which is a complete other direction. And then I jumped to Yella just fine.
Well, you saw how the 600i and that hammerhead were, right?
I missed it. I was
They were like
fucking dealing
laying
with
right
other
next
issues.
to each other.
Oh, really? Yeah, maybe the
so-
server's a little shot.
Yeah, it might be a little cooked.
Interdicted. Best of luck dealing with that, homies. Even though I was being interdicted by players, I mean, you'd have to fucking follow me with a Mantis and a fucking couple of Eclipses, dude. I'm in an M2. I'll just ignore you. I don't even need to shoot back. Just fucking pretend I don't even see you. I wish for the day where like a Mantis and like 2 fucking Gladiuses interdict me in like an M2, and I'm just kind of like, all I have to do is joust a little bit, my shields come back, and everything the Gladius has worked for the last 15 minutes is gone.
Yeah.
Because maybe I can't escape because of the Mantis, but I can also make sure they don't win. And to me, in that situation, that's a win. Because if you're a pirate and you pull someone out of Quantum, your only win condition is actually winning. Anything else is a loss to you. Especially if somebody just kind
I don't
of
care.
flies like you never bothered them in the first place while giving you the middle finger out of the window and laughing. Whew,
No,
that one hurts the
Pay
ego.
attention to me. No, I said no.
Yeah.
You gotta pay attention to me.
That one
Turn
that
around.
one hurts
Wait a
the
minute.
ego. Look, if you're a pirate, you either got to kill people or scare people. Scaring people's a lot fucking harder.
Landing gear up.
I also have like, you know, when we talk about like all this like Star Citizen like drama and shit like that, I like doing like Bob shit, like Space Dad, Space Bob shit, you know, casual shit that's just fun because this world allows us to do it. But I kind of have a bloodthirsty mindset because I'm one of those guys where like when I played Tarkov is PvPvE, which means there are scavs and there are player scavs, which are scavs but controlled by a player, but like they belong to their own faction. And then there are real players. Real players are out for themselves. Everyone is an enemy to a real player. But like if you're a scav, like a player scav, and you're running around playing as your scav, you're gonna run into other people who are playing as their scav. You're on the same faction, and there's some slight reputation penalties that you get from shooting each other. Even though you can see that that scav is controlled by a player, by their movement and all that, you're on the same side. You can kill each other, but you're not supposed to. I will fucking murk those dudes the second I see them. You know why? Because it's way worse getting murked in the back of your head. And I know for a fact that if I turn my back is what's getting shot. If I give a player a chance to kill me, they'll take it. That's simply just how gamers are. So if I play a PvPvE game, I think that's the dumbest phrase in gaming. A PvPvE game is literally, it's a PvP game. Like, throw some balls and call it what it is. It's a PvP game. There might be a couple extra steps, but who gives a shit about that? It's PvP. You see a player, you kill the player. If you do not kill that player kills you. That's PvP in my book.
Yeah, I mean that's typically how I play Tarkov too. And in this game, like I said, people will say like, "Well, you're a murder hobo because I don't have anything of value." It's like, yeah, but you could do something to me too. Like,
Yeah, you know
it
what
goes
I
both
have of
ways.
value? My ship, my time,
my life,
yeah, my life.
you know.
You know what? I get security out of killing you because now I know you ain't gonna kill me. Was it right Alt H to fucking hip store your helmet?
Left Alt H.
Left Alt H? Oh, maybe it doesn't work when you're in a instance hangar or something.
It should work.
I had to throw my shit on the ground.
Yeah, this server just might be having issues.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing that kind of like stopped me from like enjoying Sea of Thieves fully is like some of the casual PvP in Sea of Thieves can be kind of like wacky and zany, but like any real sweat in Sea of Thieves requires you to learn some of the dumbest goddamn things you've ever seen in your life. Like, oh, you're not perfect at like, you know, spinning 180 degrees 50 times a second. Oh, good luck ever blocking a sword strike. Well, you know what? I will block 100% of sword strikes by not playing. Because that's horse shit. I have to learn that
Well,
to be
you
good at
don't-
it. Fuck
you don't
that.
You don't want to learn techs and special tricks to exploit how the game works, because I mean
Yeah.
that's kind of what happens everywhere. We're
And
talking
that-
like esports,
yeah.
right? Or games that try to be esports, and that's another thing too, right? It's like they
It all takes esports. I mean, it all takes exploits, you know? And the thing is, like, so for example, Brendan Green, who goes by Player Unknown on the internet, he's PUBG's father. He invented PUBG on on Arma, which is now pretty much like adapted into Arma King of the Hill. Then he invented H1Z1 by trying to make like another battle royale mode, you know, where you had to like survive to the end and everyone was against everyone. So like H1Z1, that was Brendan Green as well. PUBG was his first attempt in his own engine with his own studio at making his, you know, battle royale idea. And he's a perfect example because when you look at things like H1Z1 and Arma, you saw what his vision was, limited by what his like engine allowed him to do, you know. And PUBG was obviously supposed to be a cut down version of Arma, where you have realism being kind of a priority. You know, like you got bullet velocity, logistics. You don't have, you know, you don't have anybody making 1,000-meter 50 cal sniper shot while parkouring up a 2-story building, like you do in Call of Duty. You know, it was the focus was on realism. So what do PUBG players do? They realize that if you start crouch spamming and lean spamming, you're a lot harder to hit. And if you're good, you can hit shots while doing that. Is that realistic? No. Some people call that an exploit. Some people call it a game mechanic. It's actually still a point of contention to this day. But any good player knows how to crouch and lean spam. Because that's how you not get shot while landing shots.
Exactly.
But yeah, people will argue to this day. Well, scrubs will argue to this day that it's an exploit. Just because the fact that while you're lean spamming, you are still capable of putting an accurate shot down range, which a person in real life would not be able to do. Which has a point. However, the obvious counterpoint is go play Arma. This isn't Arma. You can sprint forever. Yeah. It's not supposed to be realistic. If you hold shift forever, you will sprint forever. How about we get rid of that first if we want to talk realism? You know,
I remember Ubisoft trying to push For Honor into the esports scene.
Oh, dude, I was pissed about that because, like, the base game of For Honor before any of the DLCs came out, I would have tried as hard as I could to compete in that game because before the DLCs, that game was fucking incredible. Dude, I was never a fight game fan, but that game made it tactical. It was like being a samurai, fucking Bruce Lee, and like a Dark Souls player all in one in a PvP format. I was obsessed with For Honor when it came out. And then they released the Centurion, which was like the first DLC character, and it was completely fucking OP, and every single move it had was completely unblockable. And I just checked out. And then I checked back in some years later because some friends were like, hey, the game is still kind of fun. And we started playing some private games where it was like, all right, house rule, only use OG characters. And it was amazing. And then we started playing online, and I realized every single character is now that Centurion, where every single move is OP and more OP than the last and undodgeable. Because I actually had a friendly argument with a friend of a friend. So I started playing with another streamer named Cookie. Her boyfriend was named David. I'm named David. So we decided to have a For Honor Valkyrie, because we both played Valkyrie. Valkyrie v Valkyrie duel. Best 2 out of 3. Loser has to be called Dave. And I lost, but it was fucking close, because that guy is a good goddamn Valkyrie. But it was so much fun. We had like an hour and a half of like the greatest content out of it. Like, we had a great time. It was so much fun. Nobody could have predicted the winner until the very last move where he fucking got me, like fair and square. And so I had this moment where I was like, fuck. Now I'm Dave. You know, like... And it was so much fun, but like For Honor had so much and they fumbled it. Oh, it still makes me sad to think about. Because like For Honor in like a private group of friends that agrees house rules, original characters only, is like fucking chess on chess on chess. Move, counter move, block. It's so tactical. It really broke my heart to see what they did to it. And I don't say that about a lot of games, but like, I remember back in 2016 when I was living in Germany, I came back to the States for a couple of months. And I was down in Augusta, Georgia for my training, and I drove up to Nashville to meet like Dev and his wife, my best friend ever and his wife. And it was like a 6-hour road trip. It was completely illegal. I wasn't on leave. I wasn't supposed to do it at all, but I fucking did it anyway. It was a 4-day weekend, and I was like, if nothing bad happens, no one will ever find out. So I did it anyway. But one of the nights, we were just drinking and sitting on the couch. Well, me and Dev were drinking. Megan was pregnant at the time with my goddaughter. And I was like, yo, I've got these game trailers I gotta show you guys. One of them was For Honor. The other was Ghost Recon Wildlands. And like we were sitting there like fucking fanboying over these trailers. Like, these look fucking incredible, right? Just sitting on the couch, like having a good time. And like, those are such good memories, man. And Wildlands, honestly, Wildlands stood up to it. Wildlands was good. I liked Wildlands a lot. It had its weaknesses, but everything I wanted out of it, I pretty much got out of it. And I was really happy to have that. I think Wildlands could have gone a little bit more extreme. Enemy drawing, higher distance, you know, shit like that. Allowing snipers to be able to make those 1K shots. Things like, in the first area, you would have these convoys you had to take out as a side mission. And my favorite thing would be watching these convoys and watching and being like, hey, I realized this guy goes on a loop. On this part of the loop, there's raised ground and a straight road line for 300 meters. So I'm going to post up here, and when he comes around on this part of the loop, I'm going to fucking dome the driver from 300 meters away while he's moving because I did my route recon. And then you get to the second area, and magically everything is just somehow too armored for your bullet to get through the windshield until you hit with the 50 cal fully leveled out damage-wise, and it blows up the entire truck. That was fucking stupid. That, I think, was one of the worst, least tactical things about Wildlands. But, like, everything else about it, dude, like, me and my buddy would be in a large base, and we'd be using, like, pistols with suppressors because those have, you know, the quietest sound profile. Like, SMG's louder, AR's louder, like, so on and so forth. And we'd be, like, close quarters, like, taking people down, like, fuck, man, I've got a patroller coming in. And then I would look at this patroller who just is catching me straight off guard. And I would just see this round come in from 400 meters away and just fucking take his head off. And my buddy's wife would be like, I got him. It was like the most badass shit I've ever seen in my life. And Wildlands gave me that. So like, yeah, they fumbled a lot, but like they did a lot right. But like For Honor, they were in the position to get everything right. And it hurt so much to see them do it wrong. Dude, I would grind For Honor when it first came out, because I'd be like, I'm on Team Vikings, and Vikings is losing, so that means I gotta fucking get on and play, you know? Nobody gives a shit about that anymore.
The same thing. Like, I was all about like deploying the war banners, right? And trying to
bro.
maintain the fucking
hey, man,
side. I was like, oh, man,
if I do good in this match,
for the day.
Yeah, if I do good in this match, then I'll fucking do more for my team. You know, like, I've got 10,000 people on my team, but I'm doing my part, you know? It's like that Helldivers shit.
It is, yeah, same thing.
And you know what? It's gonna sound like crazy, but they could have exploited the shit out of it. And Helldivers is doing a good fucking job of exploiting that shit.
Yeah, they are.
Because I'll log on to Helldivers, I'll play 4 or 5 hours of the same damn planet that I've been playing for months, and I'll be happy to do it. You'll hear one complaint out of me. You'll hear only things like, man, once we take this planet, I think this is the one we should take next, you know? Or like, man, I hope we take Vernon Wells so hard this time that we keep it this time, you know?
Never forget the creek.
Never forget. Dude, I was actually talking about my that to my brother. What was it, yesterday or the day before? We were having a really shitty time. Where were we? It wasn't Clarel. It was whatever the planet we were fighting on the day before yesterday. Where it's like that shitty fucking kind of like jungly biome. And dude, we were just getting ambushed constantly. Like every time we turn around, they'd be like, where the fuck did that squad come from? And I looked around, and at one point I realized, I was like, dude, looking at this shitty fucking area, it's just like Malevelon Creek, except Malevelon Creek had more enemies and was darker. But I was like, you know, something about constantly getting snuck up on by these squads that you can't see coming. I was like, dude, that shit kind of reminded me of a level. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, that's like the Creek, except the Creek was way fucking worse. Like, there's a reason why fucking creek divers recognize one another. There's a fucking good goddamn reason, because, brother, we've been through some shit.
When you could only see the eyes through the fucking fog in the night.
Well, fucking if you're lucky. And half the time it was too late, because it was like back then, they had the bugs with the goddamn missiles that would apply equal damage to every part of your body. So like you would see the eyes and you would already know the missile was en route. And already know that even if you died, you dived, you're still gonna fucking one hit die.
Yeah.
Like that was, dude, I did a fucking 9 on Malevelon Creek one time, and every single one of us died straight out of the helipod immediately by a missile from something that was over 200 meters away. And we're like, we just lost that mission without ever touching our mouse and keyboard. Like, basically. We were like, what? Fuck that. I don't know if I got that mission. Can you share it again?
Oh, this one's just, we just finished this one.
Oh, I just saw one pop
downed star. Oh, did you get another one?
up. Maybe I just have to come to you then.
Oops.
I don't know. I just saw one pop up and I tried to like accept it. It was kind of weird. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was just it completing.
All of these are on Daymar though. Holy shit! Here, I'm gonna share this new one then.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and poke around. I have yet to go ahead and check this Starfarer, and then there's another ship that's on white out there.
I don't think I'd really bother checking the Starfarer. Especially, well, I mean, like maybe if it's in 0G. If it's in Atmo, I almost guarantee you it's upside down, and you're not getting inside that motherfucker. Because
Starfarers?
Yeah, Starfarers when they're upside down. I've tried.
I usually just go ahead.
Travel.
I got a trick for you then. So when they land upside down, you know that big giant nozzle they use for their fuel injection?
Yeah.
You can rip that off and use it as a stand to put it up against the catwalk, and you can run right up the darn thing.
Oh, that's too much work. If I can't like weasel my way in off the ground,
it takes like 10 seconds.
I'll have to try it. We'll have to see. Yeah, because like
medical supplies.
I'll try to like avoid. I mean, because like grabbing the cargo is enough to make almost any other player balk at how much time you're spending before getting into the next mission. You know.
Yeah. There's nothing worth anything on this anyways. I just checked it.
Damn. It is what it is, though. We're fucking salvaging.
Yeah. If it takes me more than 30 seconds to go ahead and get inside of it, I'll just disregard or I'll hard death it and see if anything falls out.
Or like scan it at least. I'm gonna wait for you to show since I got a stock Hercules. I'm 20 clicks out though. I'm holding steady here at this new mission. But like there's in the initial pilot for Firefly, they find a ship that's dead and they check out what's on it, and it's like a whole storyline for the pilot of the episode. And there's like, oh, they almost get caught and they almost get charged with illegal salvage, and they find some valuable stuff, and then they find out it's dangerous, and blah 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 blah. It goes back and forth, but it's all because they're a bunch of poor people who saw a dead ship and they had to check out what was on it. Like, imagine if we were so poor, right, that we would take medical supplies instead of just weevil eggs, and then we find a hold that's like full of fucking medical supplies, dude. We'd be high-fiving each other and shit, you know? It's about the perception. We're spoiled. We're used to easy Star Citizen, where we gain millions in a day, right? And they're trying to change that. The Quantum being more expensive by a lot, they're changing that way. What we get per mission, you know, like the loot that we find on these things. I know we all bitch about it because we used to find 32 SU containers of weevil eggs.
Contact.
Yeah, but that was just
we have to realize,
incentivize people to spam those missions.
Well, that and the fact that we're a bunch of fucking spoiled ass alpha testers. We're not the target audience. Someday, my life goal is to get away from my starter ship and buy, like, I don't know, a Connie or a Corsair or something. It's going to take me, what, fucking 30 million credits? So I'm going to go on, I'm going to do the job that I love doing and try to avoid, you know, any big bads and make my money day by day. Sometimes it'll be legal, sometimes it'll be illegal. Sometimes it'll be easy, sometimes it'll be by the skin of my teeth. That's the point of the game. I don't think anyone who has not watched Firefly or Serenity could ever be qualified to talk about understanding Chris Roberts' vision, because he has a lot of Star Wars shit in there, but that comes down to like flight mechanics and action, and it simply is a placeholder for the fact that the man just doesn't understand that shit. But when it comes to the vibe, literally the pilot episode of Firefly is the vibe Chris Roberts wants. Hey, you know, I spent everything I had on this starter ship. I'm trying desperately not to get noticed by the cops so I can get a little bit of extra scratch by illegally salvaging this dead guy, you know, and stealing what he had on him. That's literally the whole point. It's the greatest sci-fi storyline. That's why everyone loves Firefly. Because everyone watched that pilot episode and was like, I want to do that. Grabbing some halfway decent cargo while looking over your shoulder the entire time, you can't beat that adrenaline high. No fucking shot. You can't beat it. And we're just spoiled. Like, imagine if you see 3 SCU of medical supplies, but in your eyes, that's 2 32 SCU containers of Weevil eggs.
Yeah,
like, you're sitting there.
That's your salary.
Yeah, you're sitting there thinking, like, we're going to fill the tank up. We're going to eat again. You know? Maybe we'll even fly out to this other moon where we have a better chance of finding a job. Like, you're on fucking cloud 9, bro. You made it at that point, right? You got food in your belly, gas in your tank. Mission, just keep flying. Don't let nobody stop you. That's why I like all this Bob shit. That's why, like, you know, some of the fucking PvPers I know hate on it. 'Cause they're like, bro, I'd be asleep.
Well, it's like
and
they
it's
think
like,
that it's all just gonna be non-stop PvP all
well,
the
yeah.
time. Like,
And if I wanted to do that shit, dude, I would have been good. I never would have played this game if I wanted PvP all the time. I would have played fucking Star Wars Squadrons. That game's been out forever.
yeah.
And it's, you know, from what all accounts, it's a decent game, from what I've heard. So, like, why the fuck would I play this when I already have a flight game that's PvP focused?
That's what I don't understand. Like, everybody wants to go ahead and say that. It's like, well, you know, the new flight model sucks. Bro. It's like, well, I don't even know what the fucking flight model is gonna look like by the end of any of this. Like,
I mean, so one part about the flight model that does suck, like, I agree it kind of sucks, but, like, I'm not the guy who's, like, signing up for PvP 1v1 tournaments being like, man, it sucks. I'm the guy who's, like, in an arrow, seeing an F8 pull in, attacking me, and I'm like, I'm either already dead or I get out by the skin of my teeth, but there's no fighting this, I'm running. Like, I'll recognize that, you know? But it's also a tactical decision, too. Like, oh, I'm in an arrow, I just saw an F8 show up. I'm fucking either dead or I'm getting out by the skin of my teeth. Now, old flight model, I'm totally fine. I can kill him all day, every day without taking a shot if I'm talented.
I mean, you'll be able to definitely kill a lightning in like an arrow now.
It's a lot harder now,
But
though,
you
because you
do
have to joust a lot more.
Well, you don't even have to joust, right? Like, once you get either on top of them, you just outrate them.
It
is harder.
Getting there. Getting that
But getting
rate,
close
though,
to them is hard.
because
Yes.
they already
Getting
know.
in there is hard.
Yeah, they already know that their whole chance of killing you is killing you before you get into the
Keeping you
rate.
at range.
And once you do get
Yep.
that rate, they just fucking switch into
Try to
nav
push-
mode
pull
and
away.
beeline as far as they can one direction, because they also know that your top speed is lower than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the shitty
And
part
that's the
about
thing is,
lightnings.
like,
Is
we
like
start-
they can.
yeah, we started looking at
They
that.
can choose to disengage. You can't choose to disengage, but they can. In an arrow, once you're engaged, you're engaged. The only disengage is jumping. But in a lightning, you can disengage and re-engage at will. And the re-engage is where you do all your damage. So, it's jousting. Which then becomes, if I see a lightning come in and I'm in an arrow, if I fight the guy, I'm making a bet that he's stupid. Which will work sometimes.
Oh, it works a lot of the time, especially if you have EM missiles on board. Oh, you save your EM missiles for that lightning. You know why? Because his EM sig is insane.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, so like if you
an
nail the
A90
EM
just blew
missiles,
past me.
you'll be okay.
Attack on shields.
Jump it to you now.
Yeah, I was gonna attack him, but then I saw he was an 890, so I was like, I'll probably just kill him last. 600i, Connie, and there's one more I didn't parse. I don't know. I think the 600i has a decent cargo bay we can exploit, doesn't it? I might see if I can find out who this fourth guy is, and maybe if he's a guy we can't exploit, I'll kill him first.
.600i, Carrick, Connie Phoenix.
But yeah, no, I live this weird world of mine where like I enjoy my life and I enjoy like my content creation, and people just can't fucking understand it, and sometimes they're offended by how I do it.
Attack.
And I'm literally just here trying to have a good time, you know, and usually successful. 90% of the time successful at having a good time. I'm killing the Carrick first because we can't even get his gear out of him when we kill him.
Understood. I'm getting this Connie off of you really quick.
Okay, yeah, thank you, because he's probably 90% of my incoming damage. Connies, man, like, people shit on them and shit like that, but you let a Connie get his fucking pilot guns on you, that guy can hurt.
Oh yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, they can. A good Connie pilot can fucking break your heart. I've run into an ERT where I see multiple Connies. Well, I'm definitely justing that shit. I'm gonna fucking drop a shield, lay some damage, get out of there, and get my shit back. That's fucking step number 1. Especially with these Corsair changes. I just feel like it's time, dude. It's time to go back to being a Connie player. I was thinking about the Taurus.
Yeah.
The Taurus is 4 guns on the front, doesn't it? But it's still got like the big cargo bay? Or does this sacrifice guns? I can't remember.
You sacrifice. Well, it's not a lot of sacrifice actually. So you
I mean, the
lose
pilot
out
guns
on-
are really the important game changer
yeah,
ones that
exactly.
I'm talking about.
So you're not really missing out. You're missing out on 2 turret guns, right? But you're also getting a tractor beam.
And a
You're
big ass
gaining-
fucking cargo bay.
Yeah.
Which
so,
which
like,
is
you
one
know,
of the drawbacks of the Corsair. Is the cargo bay specifically. So yeah, like, you know, maybe being a little weaker than a Corsair but having more cargo capability, that could be a really good trade-off. Oh, so there's the 600. Do you want to hover near the 600 and see if we can kill everyone else near here while we like get what we can out of the 600? Because I think the
Yeah.
600 has a cargo bay we can exploit something out of.
Yeah, if you're down for that.
I'll
Just go
hover
ahead and
here
shut down the turrets.
if you want to check it out, because I don't see anyone incoming yet. Miguel Constantino, 890 jump. So he is closing. I can get his attention on me though, and I'm gonna try to hover here so that like when
Oh,
we get him down.
he's useless at this point, other than missiles, I think.
Well, he's got a couple.
Shot out his
okay,
turrets.
size turret. Oh, you shot him out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to like fucking hammer his shields, and then hopefully I can lay hull damage down when he's close to the ground. I don't want to like kill him a million meters in the air. Fuck. Let's see. So, you killed what? This I killed the 600i. You killed the Connie.
I killed the Connie.
We killed the Carrick. Okay, so he is the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to like count
It's
it up in
another
my
not
head.
so
I
great
felt like we
one.
kind of did it too fast. Yeah, no, the Connie is like full on one of the main reasons I actually play this game in the first place. The fucking Akane Aquila ship commercial, the M50 ship commercial, and the Cutlass ship commercial are the three things that was like, bro, I gotta play this game. I wish YouTube kept like a track of how many times you watch certain videos, because that'd show you and you'd be like, holy shit, you really do like that shit. My favorite thing about the M50 ship commercial is that they ripped off Top Gear. As a giant fan of Top Gear, I fucking respect the shit out of that. And I'm kind of honestly sad. Like, if they got sued by, like, Jeremy Clarkson for, you know, making a Top Gear episode out of every ship, dude, I'd fucking donate to that GoFundMe so hardcore. Can you imagine if we had a Top Gear episode based on every ship in the game?
That would be cool.
Yeah. That'd be fucking awesome, dude. I'd watch that. Dude, I was like, have you seen the latest of the Grand Tour?
I have not.
Did you know they made their last episode?
I did not.
They made their official last episode. The boys are retired. And the last episode they did in Zimbabwe, which is the same location where they did their first ever special at in Top Gear. And dude, dude, I guarantee you, brother, you're not getting through this with dry eyes. But like all the other specials they've done the last couple of seasons, oh, they're so fucking funny. Like they've done such good jobs. But then there's also Clarkson's Farm, which is like, you know, Clarkson's own thing. And it's not a car program, it's a farm program. But it's like still Jeremy Clarkson. So I'm caught up on like season 3 of that, and that show is fucking amazing. It's so funny. But it's also like really eye-opening about like what farming as a career like means, even though it's British. There's obviously American differences, but you know, like the life and the perspective of it, but with Jeremy Clarkson humor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. I know James May and Richard Hammond have started other shows. I don't know what they are. But if you ever liked like Top Gear, the Grand Tour is absolutely everything that Top Gear was, and pretty much so is Clarkson Farm. Oh! Do you see that motherfucker trying to ram me?
I saw some really odd behavior on his part where he just downstrafed.
Yeah, dude. All of a sudden, so like my roof, I couldn't quite see him for a second, and I pitched my nose up to like see what he was up to, and I saw the motherfucker coming balls to the wall at me, dude. It was, if I was a second slower, he would have been successful. He would have rammed me. It took all my up thrust and boost and like leaning off of my forward thrust. It took everything
Look how
I had
high he's
in me
going
as a
again.
pilot.
Look how high he's going once again.
Did we get through his shields at all?
I don't even think so. But I mean, I
We
can
can
kill him.
We can no, we don't want to kill him while he's high. We want to kill him when he's low. But
He's
we
missing
want to
off.
get through his shields at any time. Because we don't want to give him the freedom to go up high and just get shields back forever. We want to kill him when he's low so he doesn't hard death, because I know that motherfucker's got some tasty juice. I fucking
know.
can smell it. No, he's an 890.
Smell
That motherfucker got some 8. He's got some tasty juice.
I don't know.
He's got some tasty juice and it's hidden his butthole, and I'm gonna find it.
But yeah, you're gonna find that tasty.
I can smell that tasty juice he's got in his butthole.
All right, Jack, quote that.
Look at him showing his belly. It's obviously a sign of him giving up. My target thing isn't working super well, so I don't know what his shields are like.
Me neither. That's a problem lately.
Damn. I know I was still hitting his shields when he turned upwards, but he has to be running away because he took damage to his shields, right? Must be.
That's what I would think.
I'm trying to like put my mind into a limited little AI brain. I gotta get my Eckhart certs done as well. One of these days I gotta put a 5 or 6 person group together where we all just go party boat of fucking Idris again, because man, that's just never not fun. Well, the only time that's just not fun is if you don't have enough people doing it. But you get like 5 or 6 people doing that shit, this shit's a fun adventure. Especially since we haven't done it in a while. I can just like repeat everything I've ever done in Star Citizen and it will be just as fun as the first time I did it.
Let's see. Let's see. Like, look at how high. Like, why is he going so damn high?
I think he's trying to run away. We have to have gotten through his shields. Maybe if you come back down low, we can chase him. Or we can bait
Yeah,
him.
that's why I feel like I have to chase him down.
I think he's going high because we're chasing him. Well, you know what? Fuck it. If he goes too high, he'll be in space, and then we don't have to worry about him hard deathing when he falls.
Yeah, but I don't think he's even going up. Because he'd have to go up to like 28 kilometers.
He's turning around. He's coming back my way.
Yeah, see? I think the AIs are just fucking, you know.
I think we chased him to his limit and he hit a wall. Sika, did you not sleep at all? Well, it's only 7 o'clock in the morning for me, Gerbo. I moved, actually. I'm in Arizona now. So I moved a few time zones over, but I haven't slept yet. It's my weekend now. How's it going, bro? I was just doing a little racing earlier tonight. I haven't done that in a long time. So we were playing some Helldivers and then some Far Cry 5. My friend Tina, I got her to jump into Star Citizen and do a little bit of low flying with us. We were, you know, a little faded, but you know, we had some fun with it. And well, I hope that we can play a lot more in the future. She seemed to have fun. I think that she would really enjoy some of the crazier, more in-depth things that we as a community tend to do. That and Star Citizen really is like my home on Twitch, really is. And I kind of want to come back to it more. Feel that worked until 2 a.m. It's now 9 a.m. Sleep is for the weak. Exactly, dude. They don't call it revenge sleep procrastination for a reason. Well, actually, I guess they do, but still, I forgot what my point was. But sleep, revenge sleep procrastination. I'm getting my fucking time back one way or another. Lots of folks seem to be waiting for SitCon in a couple weeks. Yeah, the same as I always have been. I'm not super jazzed about upcoming announcements, and people are always surprised to hear that from me. I like the current state of the game. This is my favorite thing about Star Citizen is how it is currently. It always has been, always will be. I love doing what I can do. I love doing it with the people I can, you know, and like I love hearing about the new features because they sound pretty neat. But I don't have any possible expectation of knowing whether they're going to be next week or 10 years from now. So I like the concept of new features, but I find it easier to live with myself what I just enjoy what the game already has. And that will cause me to take... Ooh, ceasefire. Well, we got him.
Down.
All right.
Prepping for a warpath. Really, the next few weeks, it's usually to put to just take the game as well. Yeah, that's always my philosophy that I've always had. Like the reason I started playing this game hardcore was never about what it could be. Like I know that this game could be the best game ever made, but then again, so could anything else. You know, anything could be good, or anything could be good for a while and then bad. Anything could be like, man, remember the Star Citizen era? You know, and we're all like, man, yeah, that was so great back when it was good. You know, like, it's possible. But, like, if I sit here and just argue with people on Reddit about fucking insurance, I'm just going to hate my life, no matter what game I'm playing. Okay, so we have a right side up, 890. I think popping the back door is probably easiest to get in.
Yeah, we'll see how this.
Going
There's a rock underneath.
zoom a
it. It's
little
kinda
bit closer.
resting on.
If you zoom a little bit closer, you can fit in a smaller spot, and I could probably land in that spot that you're in now.
Here.
I might be able to fit anyway without hitting
Yeah,
you.
but yeah.
I just want to be kind of
Swap,
careful.
yeah.
I want to hit the 890 and like send it flying because it's not in the perfect spot, but it's not in a bad spot either.
No.
Oh nope, I think I took one of your wings
Let's
off.
see how it is.
My
Eat
bad.
My spoiler.
Took your wing off.
How am I supposed to look like a sports car now?
That's your down thrust right there.
I'm now more
That's
aerodynamic.
your
Like a dart.
That's your downforce. That's the weight on your rear tires, you know? Oh, wait, tires, right. How about group cock and ball torture? Don't threaten me with a good time, Global Chat.
So
I
we
mean-
talk about CBT.
Group cock and ball torture or talking about 4.0. I'm really down. I could do either. Yeah, now you're speaking my language. We're Star Citizen
CBT.
players, bro. Fucking, I want you to crush my cock and tell me I've been a bad boy.
All right.
Because at least I'll believe when you say you're going to do that, I'll believe that you're going to do it instead of telling me like, oh, maybe I'll just give you 4.0. So I don't know if you're on Twitter at all, Gerbo, but every time somebody talks about some like hardcore hopium shit about 4.0, I've been slowly and kappa-ing my way into their comment section, talking about, man, I just can't wait to see what they announced for 3.25 this year at SitCon. And everyone's always like, they like the tweet, and then they look back like an hour later and they're like, hey! I just love knowing that I can do that level of psychic damage to somebody. Also knowing the fact that we are 100% getting a 325. And they all know it, but nobody wants to talk about it because it hurts too much to talk about.
think we might be
4.0 though,
boned on these elevators.
possibly because of this rock. However, that's not my only option. I have another option. That was the easy option. Let's do this shit the hard way since they want to fucking play tough. The hard way is I lower a ramp up to the side airlock.
Oh, when we played Donkey Caller?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just gotta get this fucking elevator to come down. Because, like, Hercules never want to land right. Their fucking weight ratios all wrong. Hercules never want to land right, dude. I can land perfect and it'll still, like, do this shit. Alright, you know what? If the ass is down, let's drop the ass ramp. That'll straighten it up. I have no idea what could be in 325. 324.2 is already the 4.0 code base. Yeah, well, I mean, the code base is a fancy term. It sounds sexy to me. But we also heard feature complete about Squadron a year ago. And I've been hearing about 4.0 at SitCon every single year since I've started playing. So if they talk about 4.0, I don't know, man. The magic's kind of gone to me. I've been hearing about 4.0 for years now. So if I hear about it this year, it's going to be a tough one. To, you know, at least convince me that anything new has happened since the last 3 years that I've heard about them talking about. So last year they kind of were a little slick about it. They didn't say they were talking about 4.0. They said beyond 4.0, which is sneaky, and I appreciate that. It's because they're talking about 4.0, but they're also talking about features that will continue to exist after 4.0. So it's like, oh, you know, they did Road to 4.0 in 2022, and I know that because I watched the entire thing on my phone in a hotel room. And then 2023, they said beyond 2024. I mean 4.0. So now it's 2024, and they're going to talk about Frontiers, which is past 4.0. So they're going to be like, Terra's going to happen. It's going to be after 4.0. But Terra's going to happen. So, you know, I think that SitCon this year is going to be something like that. They're going to talk about what system is going to come out after 4.0. They're not going to talk about when, though, it's going to be. Road to 1.0. Yeah, the end of SitCon this year. Road to 1.0. Motherfucker, nobody told you how long the road was going to be. All right, at the end of SitCon this year, we're going to get everyone to buy special tickets to sit down either on Twitch or in a hall somewhere. And if you pay enough, you're going to hear the words first that say, "We're on the road to full release 1.0 in the next 5 years." Imagine being the first idiot to post that on Reddit for your rage bait. That might give you
Hold on,
enough
I gotta
karma.
go post something on Reddit really quick.
That might give you enough karma that you're a famous Reddit guy from then on out, dude. You might be like a major Star Citizen poster if you're the first guy to get the rage bait out there. Beyond Pyro. End of the first day, though, is Beyond Pyro. Well, exactly, but the thing is, like, listen, man, I've been a recruiter before. I know what you can do with words. Beyond Pyro means that they intend to do something beyond Pyro. Doesn't mean it's happening this year. Did you get the thing open?
Yeah, they should all be open now.
I don't see the cargo bay. Oh, no, there it is. Never mind. I just got a bad angle. Oh, I see green.
That's a good sign.
I see fields of green. Red boxes too. Boxes full of love for me and you. And I say to myself,
Landing.
what a wonderful, wonderful world.
Engines off. Landing complete.
I don't know, but I'm also like, when it comes to the sitcom thing, like, I'm not a huge convention guy. My favorite thing about conventions is going as like a content creator and like meeting people there. Like being on Twitch, like, I'm going, are you going? You're going, I'm going. Let's fucking meet up on Saturday. Like, fuck yeah. Like, that's the coolest shit. And then like the next time you're streaming, you're like, hey, you know this other streamer? Guess what? Look at these pictures. We were hanging out. It's fucking awesome, dude. You know, like, and everyone's like, bro, that's cool. And it's just great. But it's like the social aspect. It doesn't have to be a con. I don't have to spend like $15 on a hot dog in order to have that. You know what I mean? You can just toss them down, dude. Toss the fucking bad ones out the front and the good ones out the back.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Do you think they're exhausted the community goodwill at this point? Well, I don't know. I don't think they have exhausted the community goodwill because I've heard people say that for years as well. And I think that the people who say that they've exhausted the community goodwill really just want a dub. And I'm those people too, you know. I just don't think we're going to get a dub until we see, well, I don't know. It's either going to be a really awesome surprise or it's just going to be, you know, like a big announcement about how they're going to remap the 3D mapping of the two-handed cargo beam and they're going to add a new ship next year. I'm a little bit of a pessimist, but I also am pretty good at recognizing patterns. So my pessimism says that we're going to get a new cargo beam next year, but also like a new ship. And then they're going to assure us that we are closer to 4.0. Now, if they don't do a tech demo 4.0 at SitCon, that means one of two things. They're either releasing it, or they don't want anyone to think about it. Like they want everyone to forget that that was, you know, a tech demo they did at other SitCons. Or it could be that, you know, like it's about to come out and they don't want to fucking do a tech demo for something they're releasing in like 3 days. Which would also be, you know, valid take, valid take. However, I just think it's the least likely. I don't know, man. Have you ever seen the videos they talk about with 4.0? That shit's a big fucking task. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're capable of it, but I just don't know if it's going to be in this decade. There's a lot of other games talking about meshing. It's not just Star Citizen anymore. I think we have 4 ships set for release this year as well. I say this all without having played SC in the last month. Yeah, right. You're right. I do think they have exhausted community goodwill at this point. Something big has to happen this year, being either 4.0, Squadron release date, or something else. My favorite part of SitCon will be enter atmosphere with the esports races in person. Oh yeah, that's the best part. We were talking about how like Star Citizen really can't handle esports earlier, but